the guru of Squad 00, the assassin like no other, is here to bring you that Toriko discussion, my first Toriko discussion. And I mentioned just earlier in my first Magi discussion, dealing with Fate versus Destiny. Go check that out, especially if you're a fan of Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic. It spawned off of chapter 232, as well as other discussions I've had in the past, right? In the past few months or so, past several months, I should say. This Toriko discussion, I've discussed it. Listen to my reviews: Eric, Precious Johnson, First Lady of Squad 00, other members of Squad 00, Big Speak, probably Northside, Z, who else? Firefist, Dre, probably, Toriko fans all over. I've discussed this with. Kind of goes along the lines of what King of Lightning said it a while back, dealing with the Midora flashback, and what he was talking about. What should I say? The importance of food. That's gonna be the title of the video, right? The importance of food. And how people who don't appreciate because they've never been without. Now, I've talked about this on several occasions. This ain't actually going to be a long discussion, but it's something I think that needs to be said. Because a lot of people are not getting into Toriko, not getting into that Toriko greatness. First of all, it's just about food. And that's a problem. Why? They're hunting for food. To me, this is unique. You don't really see that very often. Especially in anime and manga, we just don't see that. Although there is a good cooking manga I was introduced to, something Shigoku Mi Soma, something along those lines. I'd have to look it up. But anyways, it's a good cooking manga. Check it out, Soma. Regardless, it takes after a bit of Toriko, and I think a bit of Hunter x Hunter later on as well. Influence, anyway. But regardless, we continue. People like, the cooking. Or what's wrong with relearning something about cooking? And it's not like the entire manga is focused on that. There's plenty of action. There's plenty of, story. Oh my gosh, the plot. Oh, it's expanded. The world building that Mitsutoshi has done. Just the way he just cranks things up. And the story which he's crafting is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal manga. It used to be my third favorite manga of all time currently. Now it's my third favorite manga of all time currently, overtaking Holy Land. And it's sneaking up towards Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, which is number 2, and One Piece, which is number 1. Okay? Understand this. But food? First and foremost, food. It doesn't get more basic than that. How serious is that? We're talking about survival here. That in of itself is already significant. It's already should be considered. We're talking about survival. We're talking about, there's a lot of scientific backing behind it rather than fantastic elements. I love both, by the way. Just saying. But the way food, the focus on food, the way it's utilized in the world. How do you build an entire story focused around food? That in itself piques my interest. How do the characters interact with one another? How do they interact with the world? How does nature interact with them? How is nature affected because of this pursuit for food? Okay? For new ingredients and new species. Are they running things into extinction? Are they preserving? What kind of civilization, what kind of societies are built? What kind of culture is built? What does the age look like? The gourmet age, as they call it. How do people operate? Because it's much different from the way we operate in any of the societies we see in our own world. I mean, the world is also the size of Jupiter, but because of other elements, gourmet cells and all that jazz. For those who read Toriko know what I'm talking about. But food, the importance of food. And that Midora flashback was one of the greatest flashbacks in all fiction, straight up. Help establish Midora as, I can argue, one of the greatest characters in all fiction. I ain't gonna place him anywhere, but, or at least one of the more interesting characters in all fiction. Okay. The importance of food. The importance of when you don't have it. for example, One Piece, Sanji's backstory. We don't have the entire backstory, but him and Red Leg Zeph, we saw it. For the One Piece fans, they know what happened there. Just 5 days. They were near, especially Zeph was near a skeleton. Sanji was straight bones, pretty much. This is how tragic it is. And Sanji's whole ideology about feeding anyone if they need food, or his philosophy, I should say, that affected his ideology very much so. Right? Just for an example, okay? How food. I mean, the fact that food in Toriko ended a war, an ingredient in the war. The fact that people get together. It in America there's been a campaign. In the States there's been a campaign over the last couple years, last about 3-4 years I should say, about mealtime, dinner time, getting people back in the communal aspects of food. If you watch Food Network, the cooking channel, how food affects people's lives, the joy it brings, the creativity. Some people who are socially awkward, they can make it. Look at a dude like Komatsu, for example, or his friend not Utaki, but the other shorty, the other short dude. These two dudes would seemingly be insignificant, but because they're so skillful as chefs, they have massive importance to the world. You understand what I'm saying? Their physical, if they're out in the wild, out in the wilderness, they're dead men, most likely. But they have an importance because they have a skill that is vital to the world's existence. They know how to cook food and cook it exquisitely. Okay? Cook it very nutritionally. Food, our survival. Yes, I know we're talking about, you need water, obviously. But you can't just live on water, ladies and gents. You just can't do it. You can live at most of 3 months. You need substance. You need things to be able to, it's energy. It's metabolization. It's how you build. You see malnourished. Malnourished doesn't mean just skin and bones. It could be an obese person. Morbidly obese especially. They're malnourished. They're not getting a proper balance of nutrients. Or, too many fats, or, too many carbs, not enough protein, not enough certain elements you can go, not certain vitamins and nutrients, you feel me? Not enough vitamins and minerals, whatever it may have you. Food, the importance of food. For those who've been without, you can relate. You myself, without getting too personal, but I've at times been without food. Fortunately, it has not been for long periods of my time in life, but even a week one time, experienced that where I nearly starved, and it took me a few weeks at least to gain the weight back which I had lost. I have already fast metabolism, and I mean, it was crazy. The level of energy I had was not there. Fortunately, I didn't really have to do much. My focus was pretty much on my next meal, okay? I couldn't, there wasn't much for me to do at the time, but regardless, I wouldn't have really wanted to go out and go anywhere, you feel me? I didn't have the adequate enough energy, you feel what I'm saying? I couldn't have been involved with a high stressful situation, unless I had to, that's when adrenaline and a few other hormones and whatnot can kick in. But man, food, if you've been without, you can see how valuable it is. You don't want to squander it. You want others. You don't want anyone to have to experience that pain, that agony. Because it becomes more than physical. It becomes mental, emotional, spiritual. It tests you as a person. Okay, what I'm saying? The importance of food. Food can do so much for so many people. It can, your availability to it, your diversity you've experienced. Okay, excuse me for slipping, but your availability to it. If you are constantly available to it, you don't think anything, no second thoughts of it. You may throw it out, spoil, nothing to you, just waste. But for those, And I'm not talking about on some allergy stuff, but you just there, eat a little bit, then throw the whole plate away or some jazz like that. Not taking on I don't eat leftovers, stuff like that. You feel me? When in reality, that could went to somebody. And I'm not talking about, it was often said when I was young, them people over in Africa or whatever. Well, there are people all around you. If it doesn't matter if you're in the States, Britain, anywhere, France, any, wealthy nation, more or less wealthy nation, I should say. There are homeless, involuntarily homeless people, I should add. Starving children, where people have to skip meals. Sometimes parents have to skip meals just so their kids can eat. Sometimes maybe one meal a day. You understand that? If you don't, take time to consider what you have in your own life, man. If that's my message, take time to consider and see if there are things you can do to possibly benefit. Okay, maybe like myself, I'm not a rich dude by any means. You can probably tell, but I do what I can. I do what I can, whether it be through monetary, which is rare, but through just encouragement of people. That can be food to the soul. If you have, maybe clothing, maybe you have extra, if you can. I'm not trying to tell you force you, because I know every situation is different. I'm living in an interesting one myself. I'm in a very transitional period in my life, and in that transitional period, I'm looking ahead and looking about food, for example. This is part of my life, y'all. I don't just BS y'all. This is reality to me. Okay, to where it'll be an issue for me, at least for a while, hopefully for a short while, but it'll be a concern of mine, to say the least. It's not the first time in my life, but it'll be an interesting time of independence and as well of being able to provide for myself. So this is a very relatable topic to me, and I'm pretty sure this is a very relatable topic to many who may watch this video, many who live day to day. I mean, you got people that maybe having an iPhone, or cell phones are just whatever nowadays for a lot of people. Even if you're broke, you might be able to afford one, but you don't never know. You don't ever know, man. They may not just be, for example, people skipping meals. They may not be anorexic or bulimic. They just don't have. Okay, whether you're on a college campus, high school, it doesn't matter. At all ages, from newborn all the way to 70, 80, or 90-year-old people. People got to work. Even though past the age of retirement, got to work just to survive out here. That's the reality in which we live in. And I won't get on I ain't gonna extend this, because I can talk about the whole standard of living and the whole BS the system is run on. But regardless, understand, think about it. Don't just look at the series. Look at the depth of series. Something of the importance of food. What does food mean to your life? What is food, water, clothing, the basics, a roof over your head? I'm not saying you have to live, with that. I'm just saying safety, family. All these things are interconnected. Friendships, any form of relationships right there, right? Animals, your relationship with animals. These things, once you look at it, life is a web, and it's really all connected. We try to divide it. Now, I know as a male, I know it's a side note, it's a tangent right there. As a male, we intentionally have kind of like what's been called boxes, kind of waffle mindset, rather than females who have seemingly spaghetti all over the place. But as males, we say work, family, this and that. But at the same time, beyond those boxes, the ideologies and the philosophies that link them all together. All life is a web, okay? For lack of a better analogy, life is a web. And when you see it's all connected, you take out food. For example, you see the savagery of people. You take out, you make people impoverished. People don't want to be actual ready to revolution, or at least revolt. Revolution is not the same as revolt. You know what I'm saying? You make people go without the basic necessities and see what happens to people. They're not human. They're subhuman. I'm just saying though. Animals will react in very interesting ways as well. Put in survival, man. People talk about survival of the fittest. No. They don't understand survival of the fittest. Okay. Not everybody. Some people do, but what's you generally describe as survival of the fittest, that ain't survival of the fittest. That's just some theory that deals with, some whack ideology that's easily disprovable. But that's a whole different subject for a different day. I'd expect everyone to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts once again, and yeah, man. First of probably several Toriko discussions I can talk about. Forever and King. Hit me up if you want me to talk about a Toriko discussion, and I'll see what I can do. Alright, y'all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace. Till next time, y'all.